Hi, I'm Karen McCarthy and it's time to Karen-ize. Today is Wednesday when we talk about spiritual health, and today I want to talk about those little lessons that God has for us in day-to-day things. I don't know if you've ever noticed that. I wrote a book quite a while ago, and it was during a summer when I was really noticing how God can speak to me through little things that happened. I could talk about that another time. But the one thing that I'm thinking about today, 11, 12 years ago, I was a foster parent and my little foster child needed to have some dental work done. She had quite problems in her mouth. The dentist was so good with her. He distracted her so that she didn't even know what was going on. I mean, he even was able to numb her mouth without any trauma, which was cool. But he kept saying to her, "Look into my big, brown, beautiful eyes." And she did. And then she wasn't even noticing the tools that he was using, which can look kind of scary, especially to a kid. He filled a couple of cavities that he had found, and then he started to try to save that tooth. And he tried, and he said, it's just not going to work. There's too much infection. It's just too far gone. I don't remember how he portrayed that to me without her hearing, but he did. And so he was starting to get ready to take that tooth out, and she took her eyes off of his big, brown, beautiful eyes and noticed the tools he was using. From that point on, he had to really work to keep her from panicking, and she felt like she had so much pain. Even though she was numbed, there was no way she was feeling anything. But when she took her eyes off of his, then she noticed what was going on, and fear set in. And that's so true what happens to us. I mean, in the Bible, I know one place is in Matthew 14, but it's in several of the Gospels. There's the story of Peter. They had just done the feeding of the 5,000 miraculous thing, and Jesus sent the disciples out on the boat, and he went up on the mountain to pray. And in the middle of the night, he came out walking on the water, and they thought he was a ghost. And then Peter said, "Oh, if it's you, Lord, tell me to come out to you." And Jesus did, and Peter walked on water. And he did that until he took his eyes off of Jesus and looked at the waves and started panicking. And then he sank like a rock. And Jesus had to pull him up and save him. And Jesus was like, "Why did you doubt? I'm here, And I love that story, and it's so, the stories in the Bible are there to show us things. And that's one of the things that I think we are, I was going to say so bad at, is taking our eyes off of Jesus, taking our eyes off of the sun when we come into the trials of the day, or the trials of the year. And if I look in other directions instead of at him when I'm going through things, things get a lot worse. I can imagine and worry about things that don't even happen. In fact, what I think is going to happen very seldom happens the way I'm thinking it's going to, if that makes any sense. In Hebrews 12:12, it tells us to fix our eyes on Jesus. And when we do, things go so much more smoothly. I can make mountains out of molehills if I take my eyes off of him. Had my little one kept her eyes on the doctor, she wouldn't even have noticed that tooth coming out. In fact, it had gotten so loose over the previous couple of weeks that he barely had to do anything to get it to come out. So just remember, keep your eyes on the sun and things go so much more smoothly. Have a great one.